Welcome into episode 5 of Short Shifts, the NAHL official podcast. We are going to try video here this week for the first time ever. I'm Brandon. There's Vinny on the other side there. Vinny, how's it going over in Des Moines, Iowa?
It's going. It's actually considerably warm for November. I think it was like the high yesterday was similar to Dallas, so that was definitely strange to see in November of all months.
I grew up in that state, and usually I remember Halloween's where it's snowing. That's never fun, but I saw you in the fam's Halloween costumes. Daddy Sully over there.
Well, yeah, so you weren't with us last year in the office, so I had that costume last year. And for those that don't know, I'm a giant Braves fan, and they made the World Series last year, and the World Series happened to be over October, so I never used it at home. So I was like, we already had the stuff, so I was like, all right, like we got the baby, it's easy.
So let's like I said, we're going to be trying video from here on out. We got a good guest today on this episode. We're working on getting a pretty big guest in the next few weeks that I've been chatting with. So hopefully everything lines up for that. Obviously, we're just going to kind of dive into the NAHL standings right now, the first teams or what they're looking at in each division. So let's just dive in. The Central Division, it's a two-way tie for first place between Austin and Minot, both 20 points. Austin, 14 games played, 8-2, 1-3 record, 20 points, 3-0, 1-0 streak, 4-2, 1-3 in their past 10 games. And they split with Aberdeen last weekend, taking a 4-1 win on Friday, then a 2-1 loss in overtime. So you look at Minot as well, 15 games played, 10-5-0-0, 20 points, 2-0 streak, 7-3 in their past 10 games. And they swept Bismarck last weekend, Friday, 5-2 with the W. And then on Saturday, a 2-1 win. But Vinny, obviously there's some guys putting up some big numbers and some goaltenders that have been splitting time for both of those teams. So I don't know if you want to hop in and give us your take on that.
No, yeah, we got Austin Solani of the Austin Bruins leading the way with 13 points. James Goffredo with 11 points in the back end. And like you mentioned, those goaltenders for Austin doing pretty well. You got Ethan Robertson with the 1.45 goals against. You got Trent Weemkin with the 2.2 goals against and a 902 save percentage. So, I mean, Austin's, that 4-2, 1-3, it's 4-6, you know what I mean? But you're getting those points in those games. And I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could rack up loser points, it's going to help you out in the long run. I mean, you look at mine out, kind of like you said, 10-5, you got no loser points there. You got to keep winning, obviously, but definitely a weird start for Austin. Like I look at that record and I see 8-6 is what when you add it all up, it's 8-6. So it's definitely strange to kind of see a team that's, just over 500 at the top when you have a team that, has won, 67% of its games.
Right.
And that's a very strange thing to say, but that's hockey. That's how it goes. And if you can get those loser points, more power to you.
Defensively for Austin, James Goffredo, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. And like we said, Ethan Roberts just been playing well with a 1.45 goal against average and a .960 save percentage. Splitting time with Trent Weemkin, 4-1, 1-1, 2.62 goal against average and a .902 save percentage. And then Minot, Hunter Longy leads the team this year, 6 goals, 12 assists, 18 points. On the back end, Nick O'Hassian with 6 goals, 11 assists for 17 points. A lot of points there for that D-man. And then Lawton Zacher taking the load in between the pipes, 8-2 record, 1.69 goal against average, and a .941 save percentage. So some good stuff from the Central. And like you said, it's kind of funny to see both these teams with weird records right now, so close with are actually tied for that first place spot.
And Hunter Long, you mentioned their veteran guy, 4th year in the league. He's been to a Robertson Cup with the Magicians a couple years back. And, for him to kind of take that leadership role on and really lead that team offensively, they made that trade in the offseason. This past year, and they needed scoring depth. They got a guy that could put the puck in the net, or at least contribute, set up other guys to put the puck in the net. Hunter Longy's been all that and more so far for Minot.
Let's jump over to the Eastern side. Maryland with an absolute hold on the Eastern Conference right now. 32 points, 16-3, 8-2 in their past 10, 3-0 streak, fresh off of a sweep against the Johnstown Tomahawks, and a lot of space between the first place spot, which is them, and second place Northeast behind them with just 21 points. But an absolute stranglehold on the East Conference, correct, Vinny?
Yeah, I mean, 19 games in, just about that third of the way mark through the season. Nobody looks like they're going to touch Maryland. I don't want to say this race is over. I don't want to pull for people on the East Coast that know Sal Licata of SNY, who said the NL East race was over in baseball in May and ended up being wrong, and old takes exposed. I don't want to be him, but I think the East Division's over. I think the Maryland Black Bears are that good. I mean, 75 goals. That's the most in the league, by a lot. Looks like the next closest I'm looking at my cheat sheet real quick. Chippewa's got 61 in 18 games. Maryland just scores at will, and they don't give up much. Only 37 goals allowed, 19 games. That's just under 2 goals a game. So if you're scoring a lot, you're not giving up a lot. And they got, Christian Catalano is the league leading scorer. Dimitri Kebrew's got a good season going. I can go on and on with guys that are contributing for that club. They just seem like the complete package.
Right.
And I look around the East, and they just swept Johnstown, who typically is a perennial, top team in that division. Mm-hmm. The Titans looked like they turned it around. Now they're on a 3-game losing streak. The Generals, I like the way they play. I like their style, and I think they've got the veteran guys that could definitely, give that team a better second half.
Right.
But the Black Bears just seem like such a complete team. And I know once we get into the playoffs, all bets are off for sure. Like anything could happen, as we saw, 54-2, whatever the unbelievable record for Aberdeen was a couple years ago, and they almost got beat in the first round of the playoffs. But for the regular season, it might be over. We're in November, and it might be over.
You mentioned their top scorer, who's also the leading scorer in the league, Christian Catalano, 14-12 for 26 points. He's averaging 1.37 points per game, 2 game-winning goals, and they have the league's top scoring defenseman of Sean Coughlin, 4 goals, 15 assists, 19 points. Oh, and get this, William Hackinson, their netminder, who is absolutely perfect, 10-0, 1.79 goal against average, and a .919 save percentage. So obviously, from the front end, from the blue line, all the way down between the pipes, they are solid, and they have not shown any signs of cracking against any teams in the eastern side right now.
No, like I said, I think they are an absolute complete team. Let's see. Oh, by the way, penalty minutes 306. That ranks 4th in the league, so they're 4th in the division. So they're not taking a bunch of penalties. Like, they're staying out of trouble. Oh, let's just look at the special teams numbers. I wonder where they rank. I wonder. Let's see. Oh wow, they're not in the top 10 in the power play. That's kind of shocking. Right. They're 11th, but still, and then their penalty kill is top 5. So you're a top third of the league team in probably every category. That bodes well for success. And I think also, we've mentioned before how they've been a great first half team, and then they kind of tail off in the second half. I think they know that as well as the rest of us know that. So they're going to be working extra hard to make sure that doesn't happen. And there's no lull, where they just, say lose 7 of 10 or whatever, and then find themselves in a hole in the playoffs. I don't think that's going to be the case. And they've got a sizable lead. You look at that division standings right now in terms of, points. They've got a very, very, very large cushion for that playoff picture with, 40 games to go. But I don't foresee the monumental collapse. Let's just say that.
I don't see a giant skid coming their way anytime soon.
I don't even see a 2-game sweep coming their way anytime soon. That's how good they look right now.
Yeah. Top on to the Midwest side. Kenai River leads with 12-6-1-0 record, 25 points, split last weekend with Chippewa. They're on a 1-0 streak, 6-3-1-0 in their past 10 games, just 1 point ahead of Janesville, who's in second place with 24, and 2 points ahead of Fairbanks with 23. So what was it, 2 weeks ago, Vinny, where Kenai and Fairbanks were playing each other? And I think it was that overtime loss or an overtime win or something around the bouts that got Kenai that 1 extra point to put
Yep.
So they're still holding on to that. They are led by Bryce Monreen, 8 goals, 9 assists, 17 points. Caleb Huffman from the blue line with 10 points this season. And splitting time with their goalies of Nils Wallstrom, 8-4-1-0, 2.83 goal against average and a .919 save percentage. And then Bryant Marks, 4-2, 196 goal against average and a .941 save percentage. So little different story between the Midwest and the Eastern Conference. It's a pretty tight race for that first place spot. Like I said, 2 points kind of differentiate 1 to 3, maybe even 1 to 4 if we want to take a look at the standings overall. But way different story than the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. So remember I said the East is basically over. I think the Midwest won't be over until the final weekend. You mentioned that how close it is. You got 4 teams within 3 points. You got 6 teams within 8 points. I mean, Anchorage and Minnesota just on the outside looking in right now. Wisconsin's got some work to do as well as Springfield, but this division, I think, like you said, Chippewa took 2 out of 3 against Kenai last week. Janesville took 2 out of 3 against Fairbanks last week. So you got all those top teams kind of, going head to head and splitting a lot. It's going to come down to who gets hot. And I would say, right after the Christmas holiday, I think that January, February stretch run is going to be crucial for this division. And whoever can find a way to get hot at the right time is going to have home ice advantage in this Midwest Division playoffs. And if you're any of the teams that don't reside in Alaska, that's critical because you don't want the first 2 games going up there. I think that's just puts you at a tremendous disadvantage having to travel that far, and having to. The way the series works are kind of weird because you got to make sure the higher seed gets the 3 games. So you sometimes have to be prepared for 2 games in Alaska. You might have 3. I mean, we saw last year with the Wilderness and Fairbanks. Fairbanks was up 2-0. And they came back to Minnesota and played 3 games, even though Fairbanks was the higher seed. Minnesota won all 3.
Right.
The Midwest division, it has some quirky rules to it, but I think home ice advantage for those non-Alaska teams is just absolutely critical. And you need to have that. So it's going to be a dogfight, no pun intended with the Ice Dogs, but it's going to be a dogfight. And I'm really interested to see how this shakes out because no one, like looking at the streaks right now, every team has either won 1 or lost 1. Like no one's won 5 in a row or 4. No one's won 2 in a row.
No.
So like that division is that even. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's early. We're gonna see who makes moves at the trade deadline. There's gonna be guys that obviously always just get added from USHL clubs coming down. It's who's gonna do the best behind the scenes to build their team, and then who's gonna get hot on the ice at the right time. It's what's gonna come down to.
100%. Like you said, 1-0 or 0-1 or 1-0-1 streaks right now in the Midwest. And Kenai sits first, 25. Janesville, 24 points at second. Third place, Fairbanks, 23. And Chippewa, fourth place with 22. So a tight race, 3 points out for first place. And it's going to, like you said, come down to the wire later on in the year heading into February, April. Let's take a look now at the final division, the South, where the Lone Star Brahmas reign king of the South right now. 13-1, 0-1 record, 27 points, 11-0-0-1 streak, which is absolutely unheard of. They are 9-0-0-1 in their past 10 games. So their first shutout loss came over the weekend as Odessa, as they took down Odessa 4-1. And then the next night, Odessa won in a shootout 2-1. But just all around, great hockey coming here out of the South with Lone Star. But I think a lot of it comes from their 2 goaltenders, and I'll let you pick up from their goal or not goalie, Vinny.
I mean, Arthur Smith and William Graham. The numbers speak for themselves. You got Smith 5-0-1. 0.73 goals against, 961 save percentage. I believe there's going to be some news coming out about him in the coming days. I guess can I spoil it? Because by the time people listen to it, it might already be out.
Yeah, I think you can.
Is Arthur Smith the goalie of the month? Am I wrong?
You are completely right.
Okay, just make sure. Like he's that good. He was good last year. He got injured in the playoffs, so that was, I would say, the main reason why Lone Star didn't advance.
Yeah.
And then you got Graham, who's also having a heck of a season, 7-1, 185, 927. They had an 11-game win streak. The 12-game point streak still lives on, as you mentioned, with the shootout loss on Saturday.
Yeah.
Fun fact that I learned after watching that game, that was the first time Odessa has beaten Lone Star in Lone Star, and I believe it was like 4 years.
Whoa.
Fun fact.
Whoa.
I have to go back and watch it, but I'm pretty sure he said like September of 2018.
Holy.
So yeah, that's a heck of an accomplishment for the Jacks. Just a mental standpoint of, hey, like we could actually do this.
Right.
Um,
And we,
but yeah, 11 game winning streak coming to an end.
yeah.
That team is similar to Maryland, especially on the back end. I don't know if they have the same offensive prowess as the Black Bears, but like it's like Maryland and then Lone Star like right underneath them.
Oh, 100%. So right now, if you look at the South standings, they've got a kind of a stranglehold right now, 27 points at first place. New Mexico behind them, 19. Oklahoma, 18 at third. And then it's a tie for fourth place right now with Amarillo and Shreveport, both 15 points. Odessa underneath them, 13. El Paso, 10. And Corpus Christi with 5 points at the eighth place spot. So pretty familiar thing with, like you said, between the South and the Eastern Conference right now. And Mason Marca leads the Brahmas. Like you said, there's not a lot of guys that are showing up crazily offensive. 12 points right now, I believe. After him, there's a few players with 9 or 10, maybe 11 points. And then their top defenseman, Jacob Karpas, he's coming along his first year in the NAHL. 7 assists so far this season. I think he played in the BC last year, then a little bit in the USHL the year before. So there is your wrap up of the standings as they sit in each conference. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be crazy watching this come along. And I guess you can kind of look at some of the games coming up this weekend. We got a game today, I guess, when this podcast comes out, as we're recording on Wednesday. So on Thursday, Oklahoma and Amarillo at 11 a.m. And then things will
Kids
bust open.
game.
Kids game. Stick with
Love
Reed.
a good kids game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we got to talk about this real quick because it might be game of the year. Did you see the Oklahoma game? Or obviously you saw it. That's kind of a terrible way to phrase this, but how about that Oklahoma comeback against Shreveport on Saturday night?
How about the crowd?
How about that crowd in Oklahoma? It was a home opening weekend. The
And
Blazers Ice
Bradford
Center. Dropping the mic.
dropping the puck on him.
But Shreveport's up 3-0 midway through the third. You know, they're on cruise control. Everything's going to be okay. Next thing you know, Oklahoma scores 3 in 5 minutes. The crowd's going bananas. They win an OT, 4-3 overtime win. Early candidate for game of the year in terms of, the comeback. I know Anchorage had their giant comeback against Janesville not too long ago where they were down 4, came back and won a shootout. Not that that's not as impressive, but I think just the time frame in which Oklahoma came back might be just a little, put it up a little higher on the hierarchy of comebacks. And they got done in overtime, not in a shootout. That's neither here nor there. Yeah. But a great showing by those Oklahoma City fans. The place was rocking. They had the lights going. They had the smoke. They had it was a show. And the boys definitely showed out. And now, I know, like we've said, Lone Star looks really good. Oklahoma quietly has won 4 in a row. They're 9-2. They got 4 games in hand on Lone Star. So, and then when they did play each other, it was only a 2-1 loss. So maybe Oklahoma is emerging as that team that could be the thorn in Lone Star's side. Obviously, New Mexico's still there. I don't know if Amarillo's all there. They've lost 3 in a row. But right now, it's Lone Star clearly number 1.
Right.
Oklahoma and New Mexico, I think, will give them a run for their money, though, as the season goes on.
I agree. So it is November. It's November officially today. It's actually my brother's birthday when we're recording this. Happy birthday, Josh, for listening. Let's talk about the campaign that we're running, Vinny. It's the second year, I believe, that we've done this, as I came in last year on this side, but partnering with the Children of Fallen Patriots to help raise money. And last year, our teams, let's hear a little round of applause. Did you clap?
I did.
Oh, okay. $27,000 raised last year. So unbelievable. I'm guessing we're looking to kind of go past and beyond that, but I'll let you kind of take it away for what this campaign is all about and what Children of Fallen Patriots do.
Yeah, so like you said, second year helping out the Children of Fallen Patriots Foundation. It is a foundation which provides college scholarships and educational counseling to military children who have lost a parent in the line of duty. Like you mentioned, we raised over $27,000 last year. I'm not trying to speak for everyone, but I think our personal goal is going to be 30, you get 1,000 per team, then, another 1,000 another way. That's, try to get more, right? But the vision of the foundation is to ensure that every child of a fallen patriot receives all the necessary college funding that they need. They're dedicated. This group is to serving the families of combat casualties and military training accidents, any duty related deaths. They're trying to help out these kids that are left behind, that are missing out on that parent, and in a single parent household where maybe the money isn't where it should be. The average family makes less than $50,000 per year.
Right.
And that's tough to, go to college, as we know the cost of education is skyrocketing. But, and then jobs have made it increasingly difficult to come by if you don't have a degree. So right. You need to get that degree in order to be qualified for the job and everything. But this group, like I said, second year doing it. The quote we have from David Kim, the co-founder, they're grateful for the NAHL's ongoing partnership and for continuing to stand with us in support of these young scholars who have lost so much. Investing in the education of Gold Star children is one of the best ways we can honor those who lost their lives defending our country. We got Veterans Day coming up. We've got, it's a month about, giving back to our veterans and the military community. And here's how you can help.
It's easy.
It's very easy. We've got let's start at social media. We've got all the QR codes on there. The NAHL, you'll see a team logo in the center of the QR code. Mm-hmm. The NAHL one will take you to the main page where you can find every team if you want to donate. If you have a specific team in mind that you want to help donate to, the teams are kind of going against each other in a friendly competition to see who could raise the most money. So if you want to support your team and help them win I believe it's some kind of prize to go have a fun day out or whatever.
Right. Yep.
But that's not important. The important thing is you find that QR code, you scan it, and it will take you to either our league page that has all the teams there, or it'll take you to the team page where you could easily click the donate button. You could set the amount you want to give and then just click give now. And it's real simple. They take care of pretty much everything for you. So you could do it, via Apple Pay. I think I saw a Venmo option on there, credit card, debit card, you name it, you could do it. And then all the money goes to these kids to help them, receive scholarships and help pay for their schooling and, help these kids reach their educational dreams, in spite of, some of the hardships and adversities they've had to deal with growing up. I mean, there's kids in this program that we've seen that, their parents die before they were even born, like they are, pregnant, unborn yet. And, they're over in action fighting, they die and they never get to know their parents. There's some that, were small children. There's some that were teenagers when their parents passed away. And I mean, I'm not, it's second year, like I said, and it's truly incredible to see like how much, like this is stuff you don't see. Like right. You hear about things that happen but there's always a family behind that person that, is deceased and dies in combat. So this is a great way to, give back to those who truly need the help. And it's not, it's not this thing where, you're just trying to, I don't know, help people that already have so much. It's right. Truly people that need the help and are down a parent. And I can't speak on this because I've never lost a parent, not yet. And I can't imagine what that would be like. And especially to being a young kid, especially, and having to grow up without that role model. So it's a great cause, great foundation. Please help us in any way you can. I mean, I think I put in like $10 last year because I was a little down and out because I had a wedding to pay for, but right. Any little bit helps. So whatever you could do, please help us out and, support Gold Star families.
Yeah, it's easy enough. Just hop onto our website, nahl.com. You'll find the link there, or on our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram as well. Bring you right to it. So let's hop over now and toss it over to our guest today. Robertson Cup champion of last season, current Mercyhurst forward as a freshman, Ryan Coughlin. We'll pass it over to him. We want to welcome this player who spent 3 seasons in the North American Hockey League, where he played with the Corpus Christi Ice Rays, the Amarillo and North Iowa Bulls, and finished with the New Jersey Titans. He totaled 151 regular season games and recorded 100 points with 43 goals and 57 assists. His postseason appearances included 17 games with 7 goals and 5 assists, and most importantly, included a Robertson Cup finals appearance where he went on to win the Cup with the New Jersey Titans. And currently now in his freshman year at Mercyhurst University. I want to welcome to Short Shifts Podcast, Ryan Coughlin. Ryan, how's it going, buddy?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. It was a pretty good intro there by me. I was patting myself on the back on that one, but unreal numbers, 151 games, handful of teams you played for. Just talk about your experience overall in the North American Hockey League.
Yeah, obviously when you got that intro, you've seen that I've been around the block a little bit, played in three out of the four divisions, so I've kind of seen a lot of the league and a lot of different places, a lot of different play styles, and never really had a bad experience in any place that I was, and really thankful for my time there, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Ryan, you started off in the South Division. Everyone knows it as the Dirty South. Is it really as bad as they say it is?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely. When you play in the other divisions, I mean, it's a different game. It's harder. It's a bit crazier with the buildings and the different fans and stuff, and everything that people say about it is completely true. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about, I guess, hometown. You're from North Carolina. Did you grow up there your whole life, pretty much until starting juniors, or I guess going out and playing prep school hockey?
Yeah, no, so I actually grew up in Rochester, New York. I lived there until I was about 17 or 18. And then my family moved to Charlotte. So I've been spending my summers there lately. But like you said, I was in prep school at a pretty young age as a sophomore. So it's been good. And Charlotte's kind of new to me, but it's also a good spot. And yeah, I miss Rochester, New York too. It's a good area to grow up and to play. So been pretty happy with where I've been.
I would say, as a fellow Western New Yorker, you got to be all in on the Bills bandwagon right now, right?
That's what a lot of people ask me, but actually my extended family's all from New Jersey, so we're big New York Giant fans.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. And so wait, the prep school, is it Kent?
South Kent.
South Kent. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about South Kent. You won an 18U national championship run there. Just talk about that experience with that group of guys and kind of how a lot of you dispersed onto different places and maybe even played together or against each other in the NAHL.
Yeah, exactly. So South Kent is pretty different from other prep schools because it wasn't, playing other schools and stuff like that. You played a AAA schedule. So you're still playing 60, 65 games a year. And I played 15, 16, and then 18s. And we had very good teams every year with really good players. And eventually we were able to get it done our 18U year, which was super fun. And, you never lose that connection with the group of guys that you win it with. Still in contact with a lot of them today. And like you said, I've cross paths with a lot of them today and played with a couple of them my first year in junior. So it was a really great spot to be. And I loved it there.
Talk about that transition to junior hockey from South Kent. I mean, obviously it's bigger, stronger, faster, but what were the things that I think probably you had to change your game the most in order to acclimate to that next level?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially starting in the South, there's a lot of guys going to be on you a lot more quicker and faster, and you got to be able to make plays at a higher level and a quicker level. In youth hockey, you're going to have more time, space to kind of scan the game and look to create more plays. But once you get to the junior level, you're playing against guys who are a couple of years older than you or stronger than you. So I would just say being able to think the game a bit faster and be able to move the puck and make plays a little quicker.
You went from out east, prep school, growing up, stuff like that, and then you found yourself in the very, very bottom of Texas where you didn't see probably a drop of snow. How kind of cool is that? And then talk about obviously your time at Corpus Christi down there next to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, Corpus Christi is something pretty special. It was just honestly pretty crazy playing there. You're going to the rink in flip flops and shorts every day. You're playing in a rink that's just absolutely ginormous, sitting right on the water. And I lived with a great billet family and had a great group of guys that I played with, and I really liked Corpus Christi a lot. It was just a really fun time.
Pretty much spring break year round.
Yeah, exactly. It's either playing golf or going to the beach. A lot of things to do in the nice weather down there.
Gosh, not jealous at all.
It's just, Ryan, the NHL's got like the three marquee events, the showcase, top prospects, Robertson Cup. You've been able to be a part of all three of those things. Which one do you think has been the biggest help to your career going forward to Mercyhurst?
I would say just because, and probably a little biased, but being able to win it at the Robertson Cup was definitely big for myself and a lot of other guys as well. Obviously, at the other events, you have scouts on you watching all the time and stuff, but just to be in that situation where the level of play was so high and great atmosphere and energy. I would say that was probably one of the greatest things that helped my career.
So let's kind of go back into your career in the NA. You took a little stint in Omaha with the Omaha Lancers, a few games played there. Then you went right back to the NA with Amarillo, where you had 45 games played that season, 23 points. You guys went to the playoffs, but talk about that season then, coming from the USHL then back to the NA, where it's pretty comparable in the type of play. But just what did you notice, and what was it feel like coming back down to the NA?
Yeah, obviously it's a little different, and obviously I wasn't able to stick out there in the USHL, but I never really took that to heart or anything because I knew what I had in the NAHL, and especially I chose to go back down south because I liked that division a lot, and I think it really helped my game. Amarillo was a great spot as well. We had a really good team down there. Obviously, we lost in the playoffs to the eventual Robertson Cup champs, Shreveport, who was a really, really good team. So yeah, it was a really good experience down there, and had great coaches, great group of guys, and lived with another great family again. So just all good things to say about Amarillo as well.
All right, so third team, North Iowa. You don't get really a choice there because Amarillo, the franchise, moves there to Mason City, where a place I know very well. You get traded. What is that like as a junior player? I mean, we see professionals get traded a lot, and they're making millions of dollars, and we kind of don't feel sorry for them. But 20-year-old kid, got to go from Mason City, Iowa to Middletown, New Jersey, middle of the season. What is that transition like?
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy transition for me. A lot of people don't know all the details, but it was me and one other kid traded, and I was the captain of the team, and then he was the assistant captain. And at that point in time, we were in first place in the division. We were riding a 5 or 6 game win streak, and we come in on a random Monday, and things change, and we were getting shipped off to New Jersey. And obviously, the first thing you think of is you're pretty upset about it because you don't really know why or what the deal was. But honestly, it all worked out well, and I have no second thoughts about it or anything. But it definitely is tough, especially mentally for guys that could get traded. But I was lucky to go to a great spot in New Jersey, and where I loved it a lot, and it was just a great experience. Honestly, that was my first time ever being like really traded during a year or anything like that. So pretty cool experience, but also can be a pretty tough experience.
Right. Before we kind of get into the postseason talk of last year and then inevitably winning the Robertson Cup, let's talk about your college commitment. Back when I knew you in Omaha, you were committed to Robert Morris, and then obviously that kind of fell through for multiple players. But talk about that search then, after somewhere you thought that you had your heart and your eyes and everything set on where you wanted to go play college hockey, and then that kind of got pulled out of the rug underneath you. And then what was the search like for finding this next school where you're at now, Mercyhurst?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it was pretty tough for a lot of guys who were both committed there and who were also playing there. I feel right. Worse for the guys who were there, who had their college commitments and their college season stripped away from them. But it was a tough experience. I mean, you never think those things are going to happen, and then when they do, you're kind of screwed, and you kind of feel like, now what? So, I mean, honestly, it was just sticking to your game and trying to stay as positive as possible. Because when that happens, it's easy to be like, oh, I mean, I got nothing now.
Right.
So it was kind of just being able to stay calm and just stay to my game and be able to still create and still be a good teammate and everything like that. And obviously I was lucky enough to get a deal here with Mercyhurst, which I'm loving so far. And so I'm just really thankful for that as well.
And when did you make that commitment? Where were you at?
That was when I was in New Jersey.
Okay.
It was around Christmas time. Yeah.
Very cool.
A little before.
So you had to deal with COVID, getting traded, losing the commitment because the school lost. Yeah, the school just dropped the program. That's a lot of stuff to deal with. Like, yeah. I mean, how do you? I mean, mentally, that's just got to be just a grind. I mean, let forget the play on the ice where obviously you're beating the heck out of guys, but like mentally, like, gosh, that's just a tough road to pull through.
100%. Yeah, like it definitely was. But I think the biggest thing that helped me is I was always in good situations. Always had good groups of guys around me and great coaches, and I never felt like I was in a bad spot. So I would say being able to be as lucky as I was in the spots that I played in kind of kept me going.
Well, I was just gonna say, I kind of leading to that postseason talk with Doremus. I mean, we kind of fell in love with him during the Robertson Cup. I can only imagine playing for a guy like that. What's he like on and off the ice?
He gets me fired up.
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely a guy that's going to get you going in any way, and he expects the most out of you, which I think guys respect a lot. And he's honestly a guy that I love playing for. He's always got good energy and good emotion, and he tells you how it is. So if you're not going, he's going to let you know, and if you're going, he's going to let you know too. So he was a great guy to play for, and obviously, like you said, he got a lot of people talking at the Robertson Cup with some things that he said, but they're all true, and he meant every word of it. So I think guys can respect that a lot.
How'd the saying go again? If you're gonna beat us, you're gonna have to kill us, and no one's killed us yet.
Yeah, exactly.
How
Yeah.
many guys got that tattooed on themselves, or if any?
No one got that. A couple of guys got the logo and stuff, but no one got that quote.
That's crazy. Let's talk about that postseason run. Because Vinny and I were actually in Attleboro during that series against the Northeast Generals. You guys, I believe, lost the first night, then came back the second game, or maybe vice versa.
Yep.
You guys got through that round, moved
The
on.
buzzer beater.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The buzzer.
Yep. Really, yeah, it was a little confrontational, but it was definitely in the net. So
I mean, you were right there. You were what, a couple inches from the goal. You put it in. I mean, like you're
exactly.
telling everyone it was going in. Like you
Yeah.
sold it in the celebration for sure.
Oh yeah, you got to sell it at that point. Don't give the refs anything to hang their hat on.
Yeah, you're either gonna win a Robbie or an Emmy. It's either one of the two.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all right. Well, just the playoff run in general. You have the game, the series winning goal against Northeast. You had a good series against Jamestown. Another couple of goals there. Had a goal in game 1 against New Mexico, which sets us up, even though you guys lost that game. And I guess you spoiled the shutout. You got the team, like, was that maybe it was 3-0. You broke the shutout. Like I said, did that get the team kind of going for game 2? Because you guys had to win 2, classic games. Was that maybe the turnaround point? It's like, hey, we can do this. This guy is not invincible.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I think honestly, like when you look back at our playoff run too, we lost every game 1 of each series we played. So I mean, I don't think guys were really too down or nervous about it, I would say, but obviously you don't want to get shut out in a game, so it was big to get that one, but I think it was just more of just our mentality, the whole playoffs, not going to let one game get us down, even though it was a best of 3 series. We felt we still could play with that team and just didn't have our best game in that first game. So anything to get the boys going, but honestly, I think it was just a lot more than that.
So we go to the final game, double OT. I'm standing behind the bench or behind the away net, and I see the puck come across, and then you just tap it right in there, and then a celebration right into the face of the New Mexico crowd, which was mostly people from Minnesota, because that's where your team was from. But walk us through that. Put us in your skates. That had to just been an unreal feeling, especially after you guys just getting absolutely heckled the entire time out of up by them.
Exactly. I mean, they were rambunctious. They were good fans, and it created a really good energy in there. But that game was wild. It was double overtime. There was power plays going back and forth. Neither team could really get anything going on the power play. Playing well on the penalty kill, and then finally off a pretty broken play. Honestly, like I got the pass first, and I kind of whiffed on it, and it went back to our guy, and then I kept going to the net, and the guy who passed to me made a great play, and I was able to put it home finally. But the celebration was just a lot of energy and a lot of just relief, because we felt like we could win that game, and we did a lot of things to win that game, and those fans were giving it to us pretty heavy all series. So it was good to kind of get the final say.
There's a lot of guys that, if I'm remembering this correctly, there's a lot of guys that try to do the heartbreaker, Sally, but not many, do it well. I thought you did yours very well.
Thanks.
Like I could tell exactly what it was. It wasn't like a circle or a square. It was a legitimate heart, and you gave it right to him, and then you kind of ended up a little bloodied afterward. What happened?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were talking about, but yeah, I went into the glass pretty hard, and there was just so many people right there, and most of the people looked like to be our age or kids and stuff like that. So it was just funny. I went into the glass and kind of gave it like a little headbang, and I don't know if my face hit the glass or if it was my visor, but I kind of blacked out at that moment. And then a couple guys just came up to me and like, you're bleeding, like what's wrong? And pretty much that's all it was. But looking back on it now, I wish that didn't happen, but it is what it is.
We're gonna get you up here, right?
Yeah, it was right around here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let's go into the next game. Obviously, the Robertson Cup championship final game. You guys shut out Anchorage 3-0. First goals weren't scored until the second. And then in the third period, obviously you guys put the nail in the coffin, but just talk about that game. I guess pick it up from the second period or from the beginning, obviously, because it was tied up and the tension just had been super high on that bench right there.
Yeah.
I'm sure the coach was like, play loose a little bit, but there's no chance you're going to be doing that. You're gripping the stick extra hard and stuff like that, especially in this game where it means literally everything.
Right. And obviously it's with it being a 1-game series, it's winner take all. And obviously we haven't played against that team. They haven't played against us. So I think the first period was just a lot of feeling each other out and kind of seeing what each one was going to do. And then eventually we were able to take control of the game in the second and the third, like you said. And looking back on it now, it's crazy too, because like I had said, we lost every first game of every series, and every series was really close and pretty, high stress most of the game. And a lot of guys were saying that was kind of our least stressful game of the whole playoffs once we were able to kind of break it open a little bit in the second. And obviously we get great goaltending from Andrew Tagas in the net, and he was able to shut the door. So it was pretty special.
Looking back at that game now too, I didn't even realize that there was only one penalty the entire game.
Yeah, it felt really quick too. Not a lot of whistles. It was just straight play. And yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean that moment. Well, first of all, people don't. We tell them this, but they don't remember. The cup is really heavy.
Really heavy. Yeah.
It's like a 60-pound trophy. But in that moment, is it feel 60 pounds or does it feel lighter?
Oh yeah, it definitely feels lighter. Once you get it up above the shoulders, it's not that bad. But there's also a funny clip of our captain when he goes to grab it right away. He kind of picks it up, and you kind of see him tilt a little bit. I think he underestimated a little bit, but finally he got it up there, and it was pretty cool lifting that thing up. That thing's really big, and we definitely had a good time with it.
A tree trunk.
Yeah,
it literally is. Did you get a chance this summer to do anything with it, to take it home or anything cool?
We didn't go that route. A lot of guys stayed 2 or 3 weeks after we had won it. Wow. And we were kind of just like going, a couple guys were local guys, so we'd have some team events at their house, or we brought it down to the ocean.
Yeah.
It kind of went around a lot during that time. We were bringing it everywhere, but we didn't get to go each one, bring it home and stuff like that, with guys being spread out so far over the map and stuff. But we definitely, it saw a lot of New Jersey.
You talked about South Kent. Sorry, you talked about South Kent, how when you guys won it, like that's a tight knit group of guys and you guys still talk all the time. I'm guessing that you haven't stopped talking in a group chat with all these guys from last year in New Jersey, right?
100%. Yeah. Obviously guys still got a team there with a lot of returners and stuff. And obviously guys moved on, but yeah, we still talk to guys all the time. And I'm actually lucky enough. My roommate here at Mercyhurst is a New Jersey Titans guy. So we're actually, we're really good friends beforehand. So that was made an easy transition as well, but we definitely still talk to each other a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. That's super cool.
We talked to Kyle Jeffers, a former Titan, a couple weeks ago, and that the COVID year, like, New Jersey was a top dog and didn't get a chance to even really compete for it. I know you weren't there long, but how much was that brought up about the guys before you that didn't get that chance to play for the Robertson Cup, and how important your team was to the legacy of that organization?
Yeah, that was definitely talked about a lot, and that's something Coach Doremus does really well, keeping the alumni and keeping guys that have played for him in the past pretty close. And he would always tell us there's 10 to 15 guys texting him before our game saying good luck or good game and stuff like that. So it was really cool to be able to do that for all the guys that have played in Jersey, because I know I was in the league during that year, and I know they had a really strong team and could have made some noise in the playoffs. So to be able to get it done, and for all the New Jersey Titans guys, was pretty cool.
You have this goaltender, Andrew Tagas, who got so much heckling during the New Mexico series, and he weathered the storm. He obviously won you guys the 2 games, pitches a shutout in the championship game. But just tell us what it's like to be in a room with Tagas, because he just seems like an absolute nut job.
Yeah, so Tagas he's first of all an outstanding goalie. He's probably his team. Yeah, he's one of the best goalies I've played with, probably, and he's most goalies are pretty quiet, like to stay to themselves. Especially on the ice, they're not really talking that much, or if they are, it's more to themselves. But he's a guy that feeds off energy, and he's always running his mouth and always talking, but he backs it up so well. And I think he even plays better the more he's talking. And obviously, like I played in Amarillo with him as well, so
Yeah.
we've been together for a while, and I've seen him play some outstanding games and do some pretty crazy things in the net. But he's a guy that's really loud, he got a big personality, but he backs it up so well.
There's another character on that team where you talked about how goalies are quiet off the ice, but a defenseman who's quiet off the ice, David Posma. Then you get him on the ice, same thing.
Yeah,
Got
same
nut
thing for
job.
Paz. Yeah, he lays the body too, and
Yep.
he's a guy that's not going to let you hear the end of it. He's also a really special player and a really good player, and actually just crossed paths with him last weekend when we played Niagara, so that
Yep.
was pretty cool as well. And he's doing well in college as he would, and he's a really good player as well.
So let's kind of just dive in now. You've got a handful of games under your belt collegiately. Talk about the difference from the NA and now playing NCAA hockey, and kind of then we'll back that up with things that the NA has helped you out with to get to this next level.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of the same from moving from youth hockey to junior and then junior to college. It's just guys are stronger, they're bigger, and they're faster. It kind of feels like they're more on top of you. Feels like the ice kind of shrinks a bit, and obviously it's a close game. It's a physical game, and those have been things that definitely have been a bit different. You know, you're getting hit when you got the puck, and mistakes are a lot more magnified, and you can play with guys that are much older than you and much younger than you. So it's a pretty cool experience. And obviously, like you said, played a handful of games, and it's been pretty fun so far. Got the chance to be able to play at a game at Penn State, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's been really fun. We got a good team, and I'm excited to see how the rest of the year goes.
I've been to the Mercyhurst area, but it's been a long time. What's the campus like? How's the facilities there? And then I guess, like you said, you got to play at Penn State. What's it like to be able to go to these other places and see these, these hallowed grounds that, you see on TV, you've seen all these years on, Sports Center and stuff like that. Now you're actually playing in those buildings.
Because
Yeah, exactly. At Mercyhurst, we got great facility. It's a smaller campus. We don't have as many students as obviously some of the bigger schools, but I feel like that's how a lot of the Atlantic schools are, and that's a good thing. You know, you get to know a lot of people, and you get a really tight knit group of guys. We got a nice rink, get a gym in the rink. You know, that's always open to us. We're skating in the mornings if you want to work on some skills. So obviously they got everything they need. And then going over to the bigger places, like you said, like we've been to RPI, Clarkson, and Penn State. Ohio State came to us, and seeing those places is also pretty cool. And it's just cool because each rink has a different atmosphere and different types of fans. So it's been pretty cool to see all the other places as well.
well, Ryan, we appreciate your time, man. More than you know. This has been awesome. Rooting for you this year. Obviously, waiting for you to put away that first collegiate goal.
Yeah.
Hopefully see some pics or video. We'll share that definitely on our social media on the NAHL. But again, thank you so much, and congratulations for last year. I don't know if I ran into you during the end of the game. I might have a picture of you guys somewhere holding the cup. Who knows? But again, thank you so much, man, and good luck this year.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, well, that's going to do it. We want to thank Ryan again for hopping on and interviewing with us, wishing him nothing but the best this upcoming season, his freshman year again at Mercyhurst. Congratulations to him winning the Robbie Cup last year. It's pretty cool to see him hold that trophy up high. And yeah, so episode 5 in the books. Anything you want to add, Vinny?
We are getting dangerously close to Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, we planned this out to where we'll have an episode on the 17th and not on Thanksgiving. So no pause and action for us. We continue with the bi-weekly product, giving you guys the best we can on the North American Hockey League.
Yep. We are learning as we go, like we said from episode 1. So hopefully this episode with our video that we're doing works out well. And again, head over to shop.nahl.com. We're working on our t-shirts, should be coming pretty soon. There should be a promo code as well for a little discount in the store that will that if it hops in. I mean, if it's working by the time that this is live, I'm just gonna put it in the text or dub over myself right now. But yeah, so thanks again for joining us. Episode 5 in the books. Next episode comes out November 17th. What do we have in the meantime, Vinny? We got a showcase here in Dallas. Then we head to I guess actually this weekend up in New Jersey. Then we head to Dallas, or you head to Dallas. So yeah, it's
I
getting
will
busy season.
be. We will be in the same room next week.
Boom.
And also, then are you going to St. Louis? I
Yes,
will be in
sir.
St. Louis as well.
Yes,
Oh,
all right. Well, thank you again to everybody tuning in. This has been episode 5 of Short Shifts, the NAHL. Where's it at? I don't know which side I'm looking at. There it is. NAHL podcast. I was a little confused, like looking in the mirror. I'm Brandon Hofstra, joined by Vinny Paracelli. Till next time.